All right, are we all ready, everyone?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Let's get suicidal.
I have to do that on camera.
If you like. Oh my God, Philip, are you in a pink shirt? How stereotypical.
Oh, nice red, you bitch.
It was ready bleached. It was a white shirt bleached.
The scarlet red and your tighty whities again.
Okay, let's get started.
All right, then.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and tonight we're going to have a little talk about a movie that has really been causing a big buzz out there, and that is Suicide Squad. Now, since we got a lot of people here tonight, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm gonna go to you, and I'm going to say, look, give your what you call it, your hey there, hi there, and then just go ahead and give your opening thoughts. Okay, that way we can save a little time because we got a lot of people here tonight. All right, so let's start at the top of my screen. Let's go for Matt Rose. Give us a hi there, and go ahead and give us your opening thoughts on Suicide Squad.
Hello, my name is Matt, and I've been interested on Suicide Squad since Assault on Arkham came out last year. It's quite interesting how DC are all doing this universe to try to catch up, like with Marvel doing all the cinematic stuff. It's great to see like another Joker into the big screen. I love the casting. It was just unexpected. Will Smith as Deadshot. I didn't think I'd quite enjoy it because I was a little flimsy on the casting originally. I had not a clue who Margot Robbie was, but it was fun. It was brilliant. It's dark. It ticks all my boxes, and I'll save my favourite moments for later. But it's a very enjoyable movie and better than what I was expecting.
Okay, all right, Alex, you're next.
Hey there, it's Alex. Yep, I didn't know what to think of this movie. I know Margot Robbie is a good actress, and I love her performance in this movie, and I thought they did a pretty good job. I know it was edited, but it's one of the few movies that has been made in the last 5 years that I actually really like.
All right, next up, let's go to Callan. What are your thoughts on Suicide Squad?
I liked Suicide Squad. I liked Harley Quinn very much. It was pretty good, yeah. A nice romp. Looking forward to the new Harley Quinn, or hoping for a Harley Quinn movie to come out. I think there's one coming out. That's opening thoughts.
All righty, let's move on to AJ.
Hi. I enjoyed watching the movie. I think the actors did their part. I liked Will Smith. I liked Margot Robbie, like I know everyone else had said. Just the overall feel of the movie was good, but I will nitpick a few small things later on in the recording. So, yeah.
Okay, and let's move on to William.
Hey, now, how you doing from New York? When I first saw the trailer with the Queen song being used, I was automatically waiting to watch this movie, and I was, when we get into the nitpicking, I was a little bit surprised that a lot of the trailer scene was cut out. But this movie is not bad at all, and I'm very glad that they already made $600 million. So you can't say it's a failure, unlike other movies that came out this year that didn't reach its goal. But you can say it continues a little bit after Batman v Superman, because of course Bruce Wayne does show up in some scenes and including in the ending. So what stands out is this is a unique thing, but this comic originally came out 20 to 30 years ago, and not all the original members are there, but it's good to see some of them there. I was shocked to see that Will Smith played Deadshot, because in the comics he's a white male. So, but I'm not disappointed in that. He played the role very well. Margot Robbie, I already knew some of the other movies she done besides except for the Tarzan, but she played Harley Quinn very well, and I'm looking forward for her to come back and do that role again. Whether it's a solo movie or a sequel to this one, we wait and find out. The one thing, of course, we all gonna probably nitpick and complain about is Jared Leto's role as the Joker, because if you sort of like add it all up, his role only adds up to maybe 9 minutes, and what I heard of, he had a lot of more scenes, especially with Harlequins, that was edited out. The thing is, see, if you add these stuff into the Blu-ray, that's going to be a little bit of a bad thing, but that means from now on, instead of all of us fans will watch a DC movie in the theater, we might as well just wait for the DVD to come out, because all the cut scenes are going to be put back. So that's going to be on them. Now, what they're just going to add it in as a bonus feature, not as part of the movie, we have to wait and find out. And again, we're going to nitpick on some of the other stuff and maybe some of the other characters who should return in the sequel, when they do the sequel.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to the director's cut on this movie. So, okay, Graham, you're up next.
Hey, how we doing, guys? Yeah, much like a few other folk in here tonight, when this first came to be and came to fruition, I'm like, Suicide Squad, okay, what the hell is that? No way in hell familiar with the comic. I mean, this thing, you know, when the characters were announced, it was a case of, okay, I know Harley Quinn, I know the Joker, and I know Amanda Waller, and that's about it. The rest of them, I didn't have a clue. I sat down, I watched it, and what the hell was that? Okay. I enjoyed it. I loved it. Huge props to Will Smith. I thought he was phenomenal in this. And this for Margot Robbie. She stole the show. And that Aussie bitch has came a long way since Neighbours. Cheers, mate.
Okay, Beefhead.
Yes, hello. If you're a fan of photosensitive epilepsy, a big fan of MTV, or you have ADHD, you will love this movie, because all it is a series of trailers edited together. Apart from Amanda Waller and Margot Robbie, I couldn't really give a crap about the rest of it, to be honest with you. I was no way invested in any of the other characters in it. I think a lot of it was pandering to Will Smith as his star power thing, although he hasn't had a very successful movie for a long time. I think a lot of screen time was devoted to him unnecessarily, which wasn't in fitting with the character. And the rest of it was pretty disposable. It was you saw most of it in the trailers. I didn't like Jared Leto's Joker. You know, I just wasn't a fan of it. But overall, I could have left it. It was a missable experience for me.
Wow. All right.
Okay, wow, a dissenting opinion. Hey, it's great when it happens. I like conflict. Okay, next up, Philip.
I'm on the beef train wagon here because I never heard of the Suicide Squad or read the comics. I felt that it took too long to get up to speed. It took 45 minutes before anything really significant happened. And although Will Smith is Deadshot, all I could see in his character was Will Smith. I couldn't see any kind of characterization of Deadshot. And well, like I said, it's just Will Smith's show. Like what we said, it was a Will Smith show, basically, for me. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she was the best thing about it. And if I was a straight man, I would have gone, yeah, love this. But obviously, there you go. Jared Leto, what's the point of having him in the movie? There's no point in that. No point at all. And that was not the Joker that I'm used to seeing. So, you know, that was a bit of a letdown. And the movie overall, I don't know. I mean, it was more of a bubble movie. It was all about the characters, and we're getting into their life story, and then you get a little bit of the main action right at the end with that witch woman. It's not one to scream and shout about. It's a mediocre movie. Okay, it's fine, but it's not that great for me.
All right. Okay, moving on to Susan.
Hello. Hello from sunny California. And I wanted to give good props to this movie. It was daring. The fact that the main protagonists were all bad guys, actually, in many, and they all were challenged into a moment of decision to do good or to completely blow it up and be completely evil. That was really cool. I thought that was really amazing. I loved the interplay of Harlequin. She was She was fun. She had great interactions with all the other characters. And then the other thing that I really liked was I really liked the interplay of the crocodile and
Killer Croc.
Killer Croc and the other guy,
Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang. Yeah, those guys were really. I mean, that was a fun duo in this movie, and I was thrilled to see Will Smith back in a good movie. He hadn't been in many movies that I'd seen recently, so that was fun, and I've loved his career. So, yeah, a good thing overall.
Okay, moving on to Kevin. Hop on in, Kevin.
Sorry, I'm late. This whole week has been life-changing, but yes, let's talk about Suicide Squad, or the movie that my brother didn't like for some reason. So let's begin. We got this movie. It all started, Man of Steel, of course, you know. Good movie in my opinion. This one, I don't know what peep they were doing, but the Ultimate Edition made a lot of things good. And it made even longer, but for me, I can sit through the whole Hobbit movie of the first one. That's also 3.5 hours, so I'm prepared for this one. Yeah, and now I heard again that there have been deleted scenes that have been important to the movie, maybe. Like Jared Leto pushing... Can we talk spoilers?
It's a review.
Yeah,
might as well.
Yeah, we're assuming people have seen the movie, so go ahead.
All right. So there was some complaining about deleted scenes. I didn't even notice it until the bar scene. You know, when they at the end of the trailer they use in that trailer, you know, like for the.
You mean ordering the drinks?
The drinks.
Yeah, when they order the drinks, you know, that was cut out.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that.
Well, there was a couple of scenes from the trailer that was cut out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
You know, like the way Harley was holding the bat like a gun.
You know, and nee, die is net aan het because of this movie, it was really weird. It was really good weird, you know. The music, the beginning until the end, music spectacular. Or House of the Rising Sun, Black Sabbath, AC/DC. I can call on many names. Four Ranger. Oh no, not Four Ranger. There was another one in another series.
Yeah, don't forget Queen.
Yeah, and Queen. So that was very cool. And I'm probably going to see it again with my my girlfriend. Once I hope she likes it too. So yeah, the only thing that is really pushing me almost off the edge was Jared Leto's Joker. And that's because he was just too many advertised in the trailer. Like he was a big thing. And he wasn't.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a subject that we're going to be talking over quite extensively tonight.
No, I got the t-shirt and I was like, all right, he's 10 minutes in a movie, he's a side character, but still, in the trailer, he was so hyped for it.
Again, don't go by what you see in a trailer for anything.
And I was smart. Because I didn't expect much from him. But he wasn't like, it was a mix of Heath Ledger Joker and Jack Nicholson combined and his own taste. That was good. And I'm going to give it,
whoa, we're not rating it yet.
Oh, no,
Not yet.
Yeah,
save it for later.
Save it for the film.
Okay, let's see if we get...
So yeah, later on I will get my grade and I will speak to you about all these, about all the awesome, cool stuff that's going. So.
Okay, and out on the road and against the rules, it's Randy. Go ahead, Randy.
I enjoyed the movie, but then I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed all the different characters. I really liked Deadshot. I like Diablo. But I thought the movie was a little bit too choppy. You know, it was like Mr. Beefhead spoke about, too much trailers all within a movie. I wanted a more coherent storyline going on instead of all these little flash side intros. They were good, but it wasn't. It was too choppy and disconcerting to me. And I think Jared Leto should have been in there more focused in the storyline. He didn't even need to be in the movie really, but he was okay, you know, for the Joker. Not I like Heath Ledger is better, but that's just my few 2 cents there.
Okay, and lastly, Texas Tim, go ahead.
Well, I went into it not knowing anything about it, except I did see the trailer, but I don't remember seeing it, so it didn't really bother me what was in the trailer that wasn't in the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't really have a problem with the lack of Leto or the overuse of what's his name. I just thought it was a good enough movie. It was a good enough story. It entertained me for 2 hours, and that's not easy to do. So I mean, I enjoyed it very much.
Cool.
All righty. Okay, let's open up the floor because I'm going to throw out, of course, the number one issue here. All right, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it very, very much. I liked the way they gave us a little smidgen of each character, but at the same time, it's like, okay, now we're once again trying to turn people who are supposed to be doing bad into good people. And but I love the way Margot Robbie portrayed Harley Quinn. Spectacular. Even reminded me of Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series, with a lot of the things they threw in there with the little flashbacks and all that, especially calling, you know, Mr. J Puddin' and all that stuff. But like I said, I'm going to start it off with this. Jared Leto, no, should not have been in this movie. Joker was completely unnecessary, in my opinion. I think that whole side story just drugged the whole plot out and slowed it down. And the fact that, matter of fact, I still call him the pseudo Joker because that to me was not the Joker. It was a freaking poor man's impression of a bad impression of the Joker. And I'm sorry, he just didn't do it.
I think a big mistake is to think that this movie was any way at all about the Joker. I mean, he was just there as more of Harley Quinn's story, wasn't he? That was the point. This isn't a Joker movie. It's about the Suicide Squad. So I mean,
the flashbacks I agree with you on, but
it's just like, well, I'm sorry. It's just like Batman was also a cameo too a couple of times, and so was the other guy in red. I don't remember what he's called. Flash. But I mean, in other words, you couldn't cry about the lack of Batman or the lack of him because it's about the Suicide Squad. Those were cameos.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Joker would have been okay in the flashback scenes, but that whole stupid side storyline where, I'm going to go rush in and save Harley Quinn was a waste of footage. It really was. Yeah. That's my opinion. Okay, you know
what? I'll concur with that. The first 20 minutes or so, when you're getting each individual origin story, when Amanda Waller's handing her the files.
That went on forever, man. Ugh.
No, but for 20 minutes, Phil, when you've got like 7 or 8 characters to introduce, I thought that was done all right. It wasn't god-awful. That could have been a hell of a lot more contrite. The flashbacks with Harley Quinn and the Joker, I agree, would have been fine. The whole side story with him coming after her and hijacking the chopper and busting her out at the end, would have done without that as well.
That's one of the things that I think the actor Jared Leto was complaining about, but he was told he was going to be the main villain of the movie, like the animated one, Assault on Arkham. But the thing that us fans who know the Joker and all like that, we're a little bit upset because some of the scenes of them in the flashback should have shown how violent and how disrespectful he is to Harley Quinn. That's the way he is to everybody. He has no love for nobody.
You know what? You're right, Walt, and you're right on my major issue with that whole plot point of this movie. It wasn't the fact that Harley Quinn was bonkers or even more bonkers than the Joker. It was the fact that the Joker seemed to be more infatuated with her rather than the other way around.
Yes, that's right, because we all know that's the way Harley Quinn became the way it was, because she was a psychiatrist and became infatuated with the Joker.
I don't have an issue that she was more bonkers than him, but I'll agree with you on that.
But I still think it would be wrong to assume that the Joker was it wasn't in any way the focus of this movie. It was really all about Suicide Squad, and he was just a guest appearance. What do you call it?
That's what we're saying. The flashbacks is good, but what should have been more added in to cut out him chasing her and to rescue her was showing the violent scenes, what he did to her, which was cut out. They should have showed that, and then that's what come in the end. She's, she became her own person, that she doesn't need him. So that would have stood out more for him to show that how he is, the way he is in the comics, and in the end, showing her that she finally became herself, that she doesn't need pudding anymore, and then she stood by the squad and considered them, almost all of them, friends.
Yeah, what adding him in that scene, the rescue scene, was it ended up making him look like a freaking protagonist, and he's not. He's never been. There's no, redemption for Joker's story, is there?
No.
That's messed up.
Unless that rescue scene is setting something up for a future movie, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say like she had something put away for him to use later on as a weapon, like a nuclear bomb or something like that. So there wasn't really no reason for him to go chasing after her, because it made no sense.
I think his inclusion really was trailer bait. I think is the only way you can describe it, to try and drag people into this movie. What I would say that they did do well is that when you've got a big ensemble cast, it wasn't weighed down hugely for the most part with backstory. So where you have to get a lot of people done very quickly. But aside from the set pieces, there were just the gags that were made were funny, but they were easy jokes that were made.
Yeah.
And I get the idea they're villains and everything like that. But by the time you get to the end of it, you don't really, apart from potentially, Margot Robbie, whose character was the best fleshed out out of the lot of them, because you've got the good dichotomy of the sort of, the former psychiatrist and everything like that. You got flashes of her, her madness on both sides of it, the duality of it, and obviously they tried to go for the cheap emotional thing with Deadshot. You didn't really give a crap about anyone else by the end of it. It was they were disposable.
Well,
I wouldn't say that.
no, about that, that's not true. Go ahead, Graham. Okay, go ahead.
Graham.
I disagree with that to small extent. Beef El Diablo.
I just wanted to say that, yeah.
It was kind of a story of redemption for him. Okay, the family went belly up, so by the end he done the whole sacrifice thing. All right, that's been done to death in other movies before. I get where you're coming from.
He's going to be coming back, of course. He's a demon,
Sorry, Kevin, come on.
I just felt that there was too many. You didn't need that many people in the Suicide Squad. You could have done with just 3 or 4 of those.
Well, you got to remember that Harley Quinn has no superpowers. This guy had no superpowers.
Yeah, but they didn't even need to use their superpowers, because it was like, the thing that ended it all was the explosion bomb thing that killed off.
Yeah, but if it was 3 people, would it be called a squad?
Yeah, but they just seemed to be
a trio.
Headshot, Harley Quinn, and
the bomb did go off. But the thing is, it was Harley Quinn that took the sword and
cut that freaking hard on.
And she had no superpower, but luckily she used Katana's sword, which has powers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You could have done that with one or two people.
About Captain Boomerang, Jai Courtney. Wow, that was very good.
Okay, AJ's had his hand up for like 4 or 5 minutes here.
Sorry, I didn't saw you.
Sorry, I was just.
All right, then we'll go to beef. Okay.
What we were saying about all the other characters. One character we've completely forgotten about though was Slipknot. He was a wasted character.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Sorry.
The funny thing is,
go for it, man.
No, you could say he was a wasted character, but in a way, it showed that the injection in the back of the head does work. So that's what.
We didn't see that.
You had to kill somebody off.
Hang on. So he was the one they cut off when they tried to go rogue.
Yeah, he tried to escape. So you had to show that it does work.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have doubted Amanda Waller, would you?
No. Damn, they're not aware of who she is like that, so they had to show it. But the funny thing is, the little editing, when was edited out is that Slipknot is known as a serial rapist. So if that would have been added on, shown in the theater, nobody would have been depressed because he's a serial rapist. So him dying would have been good.
That's not. Well, I don't know. You don't really need to know that for a characterization. It's just
remember that was filmed and is in the file that Rick Flag was reading.
No.
But you must remember.
And why would the government have the witch in their back pocket, not knowing that she's going to turn on them as soon as she gets out of there to do what she did in the movie?
That tells you how stupid they thought, because Amanda Waller had the heart, her heart. She thought she could control her.
Yeah.
Because so far she'd been doing what she wanted until her brother showed up. So that's what she did. That's why Enchantress did what she did.
Papa master that.
Yeah. Remember when she betrayed him, Amanda was stabbing the heart, and the Enchantress was feeling it. But luckily, her brother saved that. Her brother had to show up for him to be able to do that. If he wasn't around, she would have been dead.
Okay, Susan's had her hand up for a while. Go ahead.
Enchantress is a metahuman, or is
she's a witch? She's not a metahuman. She's from another.
Yeah,
dimension.
she's an actual sorceress.
Yeah, she's from another dimension too.
And not the good kind, like that chick on Castle Grayskull or anything like that. No, we're doing really mean thing. Okay. Anyone else remember the good old days when the Suicide Squad, didn't look like this? And I wish my screen would go back, but they looked like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's just that's the early image I could find.
Well, that was
Deadshot.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was Michael Jai White playing.
Oh, he played the Bronze Tiger.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah.
There's good old Diggle. There's Amanda Waller in that particular universe, and and then they
the good one. Okay.
Yeah, but where's Katana and Harley Quinn?
I don't know. I can't find a decent. Oh wait, here we go.
Remember, Harley was supposed to be there, but that was cut out.
There it is. That's the one I was looking for, because they did have a brief scene where Harley was supposed to be seen from the back in a cell, but that got thrown out all of a sudden. Now we know why.
Yeah.
So this is the lady who played Harley in Arrow that we only got to see the back of her head if you saw the deleted scene.
I got a paycheck.
Yeah. It said, don't let her out, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Well, wasn't Beef going to say something?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, one of the things I could say is, like, it being like a movie for the MTV generation. You notice there's a lot of music in this.
Yeah.
A lot of known music. And if you think about how much music costs to actually go into a movie, how much you have to pay the original artist, they have really thrown as much money as this movie as they possibly can.
Are you sure about that, though? Don't the studios own a lot of this music because it's the same companies? So, for example, and a lot of these songs are older, from the late 70s or early 60s or whatever. So you're right. I mean, it was music all the way through, but it was all pretty good music. Did not the license wear off at some point, where it becomes, public domain to use?
Not these ones, I don't think. These ones are such big songs that they're sort of going to be held on too tightly by the original artists, and so they've really thrown money at this. But I get the idea that they are building a universe. They are trying to lay a foundation on this, and they've tried to do something very brave and also follow on from what we had with Deadpool. You've had something that's got a cinematic release that is in the UK rated 15, so anyone who's below the age of 15 can't go and see it. And when you go through the subway and you see the body parts and everything like that, yeah, you are going to try and make it a bit more darker. But this is a lot of what I found, for me anyway, was just a lot of set pieces and a lot of flash and bang and everything like that. But there wasn't necessarily a coherent thing by the end of it. But I didn't find myself necessarily rooting for anyone by the end of it. I didn't feel a vested emotional connection to anyone. I loved Amanda Waller. Violet. Is it Violet Davis? Is her name?
Viola Davis. Yeah, Viola Davis.
Yeah, she's brilliant. She's cold. She's doing cleanup and ends up shooting people in the face. That's great. She's spot on as the sort of one who will do anything to further her own means. She's cold, calculating, bang on.
Tim, could you not say that about any comic book movie? It's all flash bang and what? I mean, is the Avengers better?
He's got a point now.
Okay. No. AJ's got to stand up.
No. Let him finish. It's all right.
From the you're going, Tim. Go on, Tim. Carry on. Sorry.
if I had to put it in, the thing is, if you're comparing, you're comparing it at a Marvel thing or whatever. I would say to a certain degree, I think that the first, so a lot of the first Thor movie is actually very good. I would say that the first Iron Man movie is very good. When you get into some of the later ones and everything like that, you struggle. And I think the first Avengers movie, by the time you get to it, because you've got like about 8 films that have put it all together, that works quite well, and you do have a vested interest in it. If you look at Ant-Man, Ant-Man is a fantastic movie. As a heist and comedy movie, there is no flack in that. Mrs. Beef watched that, and she doesn't watch any of this sort of stuff, and she enjoyed it. So I would say you can do it, that you can give a crap about your central character by the end of it. But it's sort of like I didn't feel connected. Maybe that's because it was too crowded, or maybe it's just that everyone wasn't as fleshed out as they could have been, because they wanted to make it a Harley Quinn vehicle, because you know that she's going to be the successful character out of this, because you're going to be using her again and again and again, and Will Smith because he's your star power in that movie, because he's your known face, and he was given, I feel, more screen time or more meat to his character than I think that perhaps you could have had with something with someone else. To be honest with you, you got slightly more with Diablo, but Killer Croc got pushed to the wayside, and so did Captain Boomerang. No, it's not because they're great characters, because they're not great characters anyway.
But there was a little duo to back and forth duo time that was really kind of cool between those two.
Yeah, but it's also unfair.
But it may be short because remember we knew about Captain Boomerang because of the flashback that had the Flash appear, and then like maybe the 1 or 2 times that he fought it with Katana. But
apart from Katana having the sword that cut out the heart at the end, was there really any point to her?
Exactly.
We knew about what was cut out. Of course, was the sword being used like that, but we knew that by the conversation that her husband's soul was in their soul like that. But that's the time I say, if they do a sequel, they need to develop that specific character needs to be developed more.
Was it her husband or was it her father?
Her husband.
Her husband.
For me, it seems to be that DC are suffering the same thing. It's a case of, for your cinematic release, it's all style over substance, and then you get a fuller release on DVD, which then perhaps puts it in a better light. I wish that they could find some way to have a cinematic release that is sort of it is a full package, as opposed to not it being like 70% of what you want to have as a full-on rounded story.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when I first watched this movie, I thought brilliant, and then about a week later, I was thinking about the movie, and I went, well, "Hang on a second, there actually really isn't much of a storyline to this movie." I went back and I watched the movie again, and I ignored the music. I did not listen to any of the music, and actually, I found out that the storyline really didn't make much sense. You've got Amanda Waller, who's trying to set up a team who is going to be like the good bad guys to come in and save the world against, the next Superman.
Yeah.
And it ends up that one of her own team members becomes that evil that she's trying to fight against.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Remember, the Enchantress helped her brother. Her brother showed up first. Remember, he was attacking the train station.
Yeah,
that's what
is the one who let him go. That's what I mean. She got in and she let him go. She did it of her own free will. Mm-hmm. And I watched the movie, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute. I think the music is more of a distractionary tactic to distract you from the story that's supposed to be happening. Like with Guardians of the Galaxy, if you remember that correctly, the music in that was awesome. The story with that was awesome. But it feels like DC is trying to take what Marvel has done and put it to their own thing, and their own thing is just not happening. It's like Batman versus Superman with music, basically.
Well, all the Batman versus Superman was a quote-unquote catch-up movie. At least that's what I think. That's where they tried to cram too much into that. Come on, look at how many storylines they could have put into how many separate movies.
At least.
And it was basically, let's catch up to the Avengers. At least that's the way I viewed it. It was still a good movie. I didn't mind watching it, but at the same time, it suffered a lot. But
It's right.
okay, now my thought about Suicide Squad is this. I think what they're attempting to do is it's kind of like what they're doing with the Marvel TV universe. What it is, you've got the movies that focus on the main guys, like you've got Justice League coming out that's going to focus on Batman, Superman. Then you got Aquaman and all that coming out. You got the Flash coming out, and then you're going to have these guys who are like kind of like the second string, the guys you really like kind of never really hear from. At least I don't know. You really hear from these guys all that much in the comic books, William?
You mean the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, are they kind of like a second string?
But remember, they got their own team, and in it, you always got different team up because since they've been around, some team members have died in the mission. They do die like that.
I think they need to take on the Mystery Men. Oh, come on. Nobody remembers Mystery Men? Come on.
I do.
That's a different company. Different company.
Or at least have the Suicide Squad go after Casanova Frankenstein. There you go. Jeffrey Rush, man. All right.
That'd be freaking awesome.
There you go.
Okay, any other things in the movie you want to pick on? Favorite parts, least favorite parts, or anybody?
I've got to give a shout out to Margot Robbie and that scene in the fucking elevator.
I was going to say that. You beat me too. Oh.
Just beating the crap out of everybody who came in that elevator, man.
And then you come out with our cheeks.
Yes, and that other scene when she's in the cage and she's hanging upside down. Let's just say I've never wanted to be looked up in my life, but we'll leave that. You know,
I must confess some of the things I like about Margot Robbie is the bits where she's sort of like you get the flashes of sanity with it. To be honest with you, when she's talking to Deadshot and she goes, "Oh, another textbook sociopath." So you get that idea and everything like that, and where she turns around and says, "Own it." You get those flashes of normality to it, and that is what is really good about Harley Quinn, because you get that idea that she wasn't born bad, she just ended up that way.
She hasn't lost all her marbles, but there's definitely a hole in the bag somewhere.
I do, and as much it's sort of like cheap gags, and there are other cheap gags in it. I like the fact that playing on stereotypes, that Captain Boomerang is an Australian, just has magic cans of beer that appear from nowhere, and
she's wearing a stuffed toy.
And although that it's sort of Killer Croc hardly says anything anyway, that he's like that I'm beautiful line, and the only thing he wants is BET. I love that as well.
I like her.
Oh yeah, you BET, son of a bitch. The little flashes of humour are really good. The little flashes of humour.
Oh, sorry guys, I had to step away. Hope it wasn't too noisy.
Okay, we didn't hear anything. You're good.
Okay. I agree with Beef that they did make it too choppy and visual, but I think that was the beginning of the movie to try to set up the characters. I know that they cut a lot out. I know it's an adult type of comic. They probably won't be able to show everything anyway.
I didn't have a problem with any of that.
But I'm just saying it's not a problem per se, but obviously I don't know too many superhero movies that are 3-4 hours long.
What I'm saying is that it just seemed like a normal movie to me. I didn't notice that anything had been cut out. It didn't seem that choppy to me because it's an action movie. It's supposed to be a bit boom, boom, boom. Here's the next set piece. That's why I don't really understand the complaint that it's just a string of set pieces or trailers, when at the end of the day, isn't it how all of these action comic book movies are? Sorry, I was with the customers, but so. You might
At first it was that, and that annoyed me, so I see what Beef is saying. But after 45 minutes, I felt that they finally settled down and got into telling the movie. And there is a lot of good acting in this. There is a lot of good writing. I love when they're at the bar and they're talking about whether they're ugly or beautiful or whatever. So there are a lot of good pieces, and I also felt that maybe they were trying to compete with Marvel and all the other superhero movies that came before it.
Of course,
So
catch up.
No, my favorite little comedic scene was Margot Robbie, of course, with "What? I should kill them all now and escape." Oh, sorry,
that's not what the voices say.
That's the voices. I was just kidding. That's not what they said.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
and as far as the Joker, yeah, I didn't really like the Joker either.
Yeah, the pseudo Joker.
You know what? Hang on. When we just addressed the Leto Joker, all right? Now, we've established that he could have been done within this movie. But getting on the whole persona that he
Hold on. Why could the movie have done without him? Since he gives a lot of background to Harley Quinn's character.
Other than the
Yeah, that was in a flashback. Those scenes with him in the flashbacks was good. They were good. But
the flashbacks, I agree with you on, but that whole I got to try to rescue her side thing, just you could have used that for something.
Hang on. Well, let me rephrase it. Other than the flashback scenes, we could have done with the rest and a few people's opinion. But just to give him a wee bit of.
But isn't that because you were misled by the trailer? I mean, you think it's going to be
pay attention to the trailer. I hardly pay attention myself.
Well, that's what other people are complaining about. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Randy, then Kevin.
No, I was just going to say, I think Diablo was very underrated here. I hadn't heard much talk about him, but I thought he did a good job.
Pay attention.
Okay, Kevin's had his hand up for a minute.
Okay, go on.
Well, about all the characters, you know, Harley Quinn was just like Tim said, you know, has fallen off at the one stair, you know, at the Joker stairs, we call, you know, manipulative. But the one thing I didn't like really was, you know, there were some test audience versions of it, and the Joker in that version was abusive, just like the comics, and an animated version, just like the trailer. You know, there were some bits where he was throwing her off that acid, you know, in the acid, and they just cut it together to look like, you know, that he was feeling something for her. And now there are some stupid people on this planet that are thinking like it's a relationship goal.
Nah, the whole gangster Joker, aka Joker in the Hood thing, I just did not get into. I'm sorry.
I thought it was funny with this line. You know, he was saying like, well, you know, meet the Harley Quinn, and then he said, well, this is my gift to you through this honka honka.
My only real hope is that Williams' theory he came up with is true. That this turns out to not be the real Joker, but possibly the what was it, the Robin Joker you said?
The Robin that was shot up in Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
that was Jason Todd.
No way.
That's my only hope.
Well, that explains why his tattoos are in the spots where Jason Todd got shot at.
Yeah, I saw the G, I saw the breast, but also, AJ, I'm going to give you the, you know, about 2 minutes, all right? All right. Wait, I still want to talk, you know, I didn't touch you.
Sorry, just quickly, I heard it in the novelization for this movie, that scene where Harley Quinn dives into the chemicals, the Joker actually pushes her, and he's thinking to himself now, oh, good, now she's going to die, I'm done with her. And he sits there and he waits and he's talking to himself back and forth, deciding whether he's going to dive in or not. And she doesn't come up eventually. And he's like, "Oh well, screw it!" And he dives in for her. He was going to kill her in the novelization.
Yeah, that's like in the scene in the helicopter. He didn't push her out to save her. He was going to push her out before to die. But the way the thing edited, it looks like he saved her, which they make it look good.
As I say, my main issue was he was more infatuated with her than the other way around. Other than that, I can take or leave there.
Yeah.
But is that a big departure for his character? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know these characters.
He has no feelings for anybody at all.
He's feelinglessness, just like the Killing Joke. He said, you know, I'm done anyway. You know, Batman said to him, I can save you. I can try to help you and get back in the real world. And he said to him, I'm already done. You know, it's done with me. I'm pretty much, you know, torn to downstairs. You know, to the dark place where I can never get out again.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a total psychopath. Yeah, no feelings for anyone else. Does not have any concerns for anyone else other than himself. So,
back to Heath Ledger's Joker, though, basically, when you think about it. He was just a complete anarchist.
He just likes to make pencils disappear.
Don't they?
I initially thought that Diablo was Diablo was Ghost Rider at first.
What?
Come on, guys. Not everybody's a comic book aficionado. Okay?
I've seen the movie. I've seen the Killing Joke movie with, you know what I mean.
Kevin, what the hell are you doing?
Don't you know what this means with Batman and Batgirl? No.
Flashbacks, man. Flashbacks.
Perverted gargoyles aside, that wasn't in this movie.
We have a code phrase for that. That's called, hang on a second, doing the bat dance.
The Batusi.
So, you mentioned that you thought El Diablo was Ghost Rider. Was that because there was a deleted scene you might have came across when he was pissing fire?
No, just the fact that the whole thing about him with fire and being a fire creature, I just thought out who he was initially, and then I realised that it's not.
Yeah, I guess El Diablo is supposed to actually be what William, you know, bro. He's supposed to be what, a demon?
Well, he's supposed to be like a pyrotechnic, but he's a pyrokinetic control fire. But this movie made it seem that he's a demon possessed. Like that. It's not. It was never introduced in the comics yet. He's only been around for a couple of books. That's it. You know, you haven't seen him that much. So if they bring him back, they can put that in the book.
Okay, kind of like a second stringer. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I got a question for William then. Is this based on a comic book story, or is this something that's just made up with all these characters?
Well, this is a funny thing. Remember in Batman v Superman, when Bruce had the dream, and he was aware of that Darkseid was coming. So the funny thing in the formation of the Suicide Squad in the comics, they had to deal with a creature that was created by Darkseid. So that's why they formed up, and a couple of members died, but they got burned. And then the comics kept going after that, kept going on, because until the New 52, Harley Quinn was not a member of the team. So when she came in for the New 52, and of course the sales went up because a lot of people are big fans of her. And so that's how come when they bring the New 52, the new one. When the new one came out, they still kept Harley Quinn the member, and they still kept that shot, kept the Boomerang, Katana, Enchantress, Amanda Waller like that, but they're going to be bringing other members.
It's amazing what you can do when you reboot your universe.
Okay. Hey, all right, hang on. We got a couple people who've been too quiet. Kellen, what do you think?
Come on, Iron Brew.
You're muted, Kellen.
He's muted.
Oh, I think you're muted, Kellen.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
Are you fighting there? Go.
You're unmuted. Go ahead.
What happened? All right. I'm saying, I think you shouldn't have seen between the Joker and Harley Quinn, where the Joker says naughty things to Harley Quinn to get her all excited and
That's a different movie, Kellen.
tempt her into the dark side. Come to me now, Harley Quinn, and I will do unspeakably lovely things to you. Oh well.
That's a different movie, mate. You can find that on Google quite easily. Just go type it in.
Right then. We'll do that later on. My search history will be full of that.
Yeah, that's the upcoming movie, 50 Shades of Mr. J.
Or otherwise, Mr. Puddin.
Because if no way of knowing how the Joker got Harley Quinn to fall in love with him.
Okay. Anything else that you want to talk about in the movie? Anything?
I did like. Excuse me. I did like Enchantress. I did like Harley Quinn.
I did like those two.
I love Harley Quinn in this movie.
Me too.
And there was two other characters, and they made the movie for me. So, I mean, like I said, for me, I don't like a lot of modern movies in the last 10 years, and I did like this movie, and I wasn't expecting to. So.
The same thing, Alex. Really, it was the same fault that I had. It was exactly like that.
Okay, well, but it's my opinion.
It's true. Those 10 years are very. If you go back 10 years, the movies are totally different from action, than now.
Yeah. But I'm just saying my opinion. That's all.
Yeah, of course. No. I'm saying accepting your opinion. I'm agreeing with it. But yeah, it's
the director of this movie, he said if he gets to do a sequel, he wants it R-rated because he wants to do R-rated. He wants to do it R-rated, of course. He also wants to do a more story of Katana because he wants the actress back.
You love that.
And And of course, he wants to add other members because of course, like the Enchantress is gone, like that. So he could bring in. He wants to bring in Killer Frost, and I forgot who else. Because
the editing was bad. I like the editing, but there was just like that. Then I heard that the trailer guys of the trailers made this editing version as the final cut.
All I know is this: when they first said Will Smith was going to play Deadshot, I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Come on, you've got to be kidding me!" And then all of a sudden, this happened where I saw this photo, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! They're adding the away. Oh gosh! Oh great! Now my site there it goes. They're adding the android from the Visitation onto the.
You noticed that as well, huh?
Yeah, notice, when I first saw either that or it's a bad lower rendition of a future version of Crichton from Red Dwarf.
Yeah. Oh, we don't have Red Dwarf right now. Okay.
Okay. No, it's just the way they lit it and all that. I was like, that's the first thing I thought of. Oh crap! It's like that damned android from frickin' Visitation on Doctor Who.
It's on up for ages. I'm just imagining it. You going to say something, Matt?
Hello. I do have a couple of favourite scenes. In the underground, after Enchantress has possessed those people, and they do that whole merge scene into the big creature. I thought that was a great use of filming and that CGI to see that monster come to life. And again, as everyone's been saying about Margot Robbie, one of my favourite scenes from her is when she smashes that window, and they say, "Lady, you're crazy," and say it's bad guys. It's what we do. I love that.
Man, that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was also if you've seen a certain version of the film. Okay.
I love that. It was
yeah, it's true. I still want to see David Ayer said, "It's my original cut." No, it isn't. It's the Warner Brothers cut, probably. Can I see that it wasn't that there was some things different, and he said, "Yeah, it still was my cut, but we shot some scenes that we didn't use." Okay, I can understand that because some scenes always don't end up always in the movie. But if you put it in the trailer, then please put it in the movie.
They've been doing that forever.
They've been doing that, yeah. That's the thing because everybody was so used to the trailer. But the problem is, if you add that in the DVD or Blu-ray together with the movie, that's in a way that's gonna be bad for Warner Brothers because that means nobody will want to watch the rest of the other DCEU because everybody's gonna say might as well wait for the Blu-ray to come out with all the cutscene put back.
But to be fair,
about that,
a lot of people like to go see movies on the big screen. They'll still buy the DVD. It's just a lot of movies have extra scenes on them. Sell them on the DVD. So.
Also with this one, it was announced before the movie was out here that it was getting an Ultimate Edition.
All right, hang on. What was that you did up, Brian?
Oh, I just showed the. It's up to 575 million, but roughly.
But it isn't a box office film.
Well, we know it'll get a sequel more than Ghostbusters.
Yeah. If someone's watching, and I probably know they are, that's how much money you need for a $175 million movie to get a sequel.
And if you've got an issue with that, who are you going to call?
Just quick question. Does anyone think that they intentionally tried to make Deadshot a bit more cuddly and lovely and everything like that?
Humanized Deadshot.
Big bit.
I don't have a clue.
One at a time, guys.
Well, he does.
Whoa.
One at a time. Let me start. I think they did. I kind of agree with Beef. I think they did the cuddly thing because of Will Smith playing it because that's one of his strengths.
The Fresh Prince of Crosshairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Like I said before, all I saw was just Will Smith.
But if you don't know the character, then you don't know the difference. I mean, I
thought it was brilliant.
It's true, but Will Smith is kind of like Cumberbatch for me. You've got that kind of persona where you just see him and nothing else.
I wouldn't say that about this movie because I forgot he was in it till he showed up, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what everybody liked about this movie is Will Smith being in it. So I mean, I thought he was just as good as he's been in any. And I'm not like a fan. I don't follow his films, so I'm just saying he was good enough in this. And since I don't know the character, I couldn't say he was different from the one in the book. So
thought it was brilliant.
No, the comic character does have a daughter, and Amanda Waller has used her as bait a bunch of times on him. So
Well, they did use that trope of the poor single dad, and So I mean, Beefhead makes a really good point about him being a bit cuddly, but I think I don't know that was any different from what was intended with his character. So.
Essentially, at heart, he's a really nice guy, but he kills a lot of people for money.
Oh yeah, well they pointed that out too. How many people has he killed? And he admits later he doesn't kill any women or children, though.
Yeah,
You know, the movie did kind of lack a sense of populance. You understand what I'm saying?
What?
A sense of populance. There was no people outside of the
They were all turned into those squishy things.
They all died.
they all got they became.
Are you complaining there's not enough extras in the movie?
Yeah, it was just all self-contained within the people that was starring in the movie.
No, they all got turned into those squishy beastie things. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was up there kissing everybody and making them into grape jello.
I think that's because they went in well after the event happened, and I think they had already evacuated the area. They did show an evacuation zone.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks later.
Yeah, so there was more than enough time to evacuate the area. This isn't like in the Forest of the Shite where suddenly the whole population of London disappeared. Okay.
You mentioned the witch absorbing everybody. I got confused at one point because at one point she got hold of Amanda Weller, you know, and she began to absorb her. Next when that big boom, then she walks out with her device to blow them up and go, "Where are you going?" I'm going, "I thought you got absorbed, bitch." What the hell?
No, she wasn't absorbing her. She was just taking her memories.
Yeah, she was absorbing her knowledge.
It was kind of like she was using the mind probe on her. Oop. Okay, anybody else before we close it up?
Yes, I still want to do something, you know, about Jay Courtney. He was really good in this movie as a side character. He was funny, and of course, I don't know if you have discussed this yet, but the Flash cameo was really good surprise. And
I thought it was terrible.
When can you miss it?
Yeah, you blink it and you miss it. Yeah, I was like, wait for it. I knew it because someone on Instagram spoiled it for me. You know, imagery, you know, and cast lists. Like, there's a cast list where Elijah Miller, you know, where Ezra Miller is on. I was like, you
know who we've all forgotten to mention, really. I really loved Colonel Flagg in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he really stood out. Oh, sorry, wrong Colonel Flagg.
Flagg was pretty cool. You know,
yeah, when they called the guy Colonel Flagg in the movie, I'm like, the first thing that popped in my head is like, what the fuck, MASH? There's gonna be a warning at the beginning.
Oh, waiting. All right. Now I can go all loose. And now it's just
go too crazy.
It was really one word for me. All right, I can use the word fucking one time. You know, it was fucking awesome.
That's twice.
That's twice.
Twice. I know. The music was awesome.
Okay, there's the PG-13. Now we're up to R.
No. All right, almost. Yeah. But I'm not going to use the word. But the music was just so cool. There were some pretty good surprises in it, like House of Rising Sun wasn't on the album, and some songs, you know, on the soundtrack album that was released.
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens a lot with Hollywood movie soundtracks. You know, you'll hear all these great songs in there, and they won't be on the frickin' soundtrack.
Captain Boomerang, AC/DC. Do you know how freaking cool that was when I heard that? Even my brother stared at me like, this movie is pretty good.
You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like when I went out as a kid and I bought the soundtrack to the movie Iron Eagle, because in the movie they had songs like "Gimme Some Lovin'," they had "Way Caught," like then they had
just like Guardians of the Galaxy.
And then when you went to buy the soundtrack, not a single one of them frickin' songs are on there.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
It's also that part. You know that part with when Hardy transformation.
Great face.
There was this score. You know, this score was playing over that song. You know, and then it's not on the album. It's not on the original soundtrack album. So it's pretty much for the movie only.
It's called They Didn't Want to Pay for It to Sell It. That's what it was.
Yeah. Also with Queen,
but they didn't pay to sell it.
With Queen, they only used 15 or 20 seconds of it, and then it was bam.
Okay, next day, Jay, then we go to Matt Rose.
I was going to say, I like the dynamic between Deadshot and Harley Quinn. It almost felt like it was sort of romantic and fatherly at the same time. You know what? Just the way they bounced off each other, it was quite good. Yes, very good.
You know what I didn't like? Sorry, Matt. I didn't like about how Jared Leto's Joker mouth was on his hand rather than on his face. It was always like doing that. That's weird.
Wish he kept his hand over his mouth for the latter half of the movie. Because every time he went to do that stinking attempt at the Joker laugh, I wanted to gag.
Yeah.
Oh, get the hell out of here, you.
Is that not a penguin? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he did. He sounded more like the frickin' what's his name of that? Is the penguin?
Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith. You got it dead on. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, go ahead, Matt. You've been waiting for a bit here.
Yes, well, because we brought Rick Flag up, I did love how in the film that when they try to run off, they're like, you can't leave him behind. They have to always keep saving Rick Flag a lot, or else they'd go boom. Found a note.
Yeah, what a pussy he was.
Yeah, he was wrong.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, remember he got pussy whipped by a witch, so.
Don't we all?
Depends on the witch.
I just kept thinking of that old joke, how do you get a witch pregnant? But okay.
That's how I did with Montgomery. Oh, too soon.
No, well, I can't answer that one without swearing. All right. Okay, so anybody else before we go ahead and bring it to a close? Okay, I think we've argued our case. Kevin, you want to throw something?
Yeah, wait, I still.
He wants a rating already.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Fucking Energizer Bunny.
10 out of 10. Good movie, good soundtrack. For me, it was good, but for my brother, it was like a choppy movie with only music underneath it. With the story. Joker, he thought the Joker was weak, and well, that was it.
Okay.
He'd give it a 6, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Rating, and I didn't know it. Okay. Let's move on to. I'm going to go ahead and start with the batting order now. Thanks, Kevin. All right.
Sorry.
Okay, let's start with Alex. How do you rate this one?
Yes, thank you. I would give it an 8, especially since I didn't plan to like it. So I give it an 8.
Okay, Callan?
I give it beef and Philip. I'm not that keen, literally. I'll give it a 7 still.
All righty. AJ?
I'm going to give it a 5. I think the music was a distractory tactic to cover the fact that there was no real story.
All right, William?
I'm going to give it a 7. Hopefully they do a sequel. Let it be rated R.
All right, Graham?
I'll go up it after well. I'll get a 7.5. I realise there's flaws with it, but I enjoyed the hell with it.
All right, Beef?
I will dub this a jukebox movie, literally, not only for the soundtrack, but it's a movie of moments, which is all, just, you can drop in and there's a lot of padding in the middle. I will give it a 5.5, but the standout star of this, and I think this is where you will get more off the back of this, is Margot Robbie. She's the standout best thing in this movie, closely followed by Viola Davis. They would take up 5 out of my 5.5 all the way.
All right, Philip?
I'm going to go with 5.5 as well, because it's a good movie, but it's not my kind of superhero movie kind of thing. It's a bit bland in places, and
super villain movie.
It could have been better. It could have been better, but it's not a bad movie, but that's how it is. 5 out of 5.
Okay, Susan?
I'll give it an 8, just like Alex. I was amused by it. It was fun. It had. I don't really know the story from the books, so I had to do this by myself, or by the movie itself, and I liked it. And 8.
All right, Matt?
Moments, there's some of the dark and the fun side of it. I do wish I had more of a story, like a sort of Arkham, but hey ho. And I did like Mr. Leto, no matter what. I'd still give it 8.5.
Okay, Randy?
I give it a 6. I thought it was a little bit too choppy. The music was distracting, and Jared Leto wasn't all that in a bag of chips. And I liked, I thought Diablo were pretty good. That's it.
Okay, and now I gotta wait for Texas Tim to get back to us.
I'm right here.
Okay, go ahead and shoot us your rating.
I give it a 9. I didn't have any expectations going into it, and I just barely watched it in time for this cast because I almost didn't bother. And I was surprised that I enjoyed it. So I give it.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 7.5, and the main reason why it was a fun movie. It was a fun watch. It's not meant to be like War and Peace or anything like that. And even though I have not read the comic books at all, I still saw the Suicide Squad they did for the Arrow universe. And those guys were okay, but of course you're never going to see them again now. But all in all, it wasn't a bad flick. But like I said, my main number one complaint: Jared Leto is the Joker. Somebody should be taken out in the street, strapped to a doll. Now, not on the street. I think they should be taken out on the 50-yard line during the Super Bowl and kicked in the nuts by both field goal kickers of each team. I don't know on what planet they saw this guy as the Joker. I really don't. Yeah, it just did not work. And I think that other than the flashbacks, they could have left that entire thing out of this movie and it would have flowed better.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've gone over it. We've wrapped it. And to be honest with you, I have nothing planned for 2 weeks from now. I was thinking about doing another thing on Michael Bay, but I don't want to drag you guys into the 2 movies that would have to be required. So over the next 2 weeks, here's your homework assignment.
Work assigned for what?
Come up with suggestions for the next Omega Files and make it good. And also,
Army of Darkness.
No, not right now. Send them to me via text. And then I will sit down, look over them, and we may even have a little group discussion sometime over the next 2 weeks. Say, look, which one do we want to do as a group?
Yeah. All right. That's cool, man.
That way it's kind of democratic, and I want to make sure it's something you guys are all going to be into and you want to do.
Mary Poppins.
Because the thing is this: I was originally going to continue the Assault on Michael Bay thing. The only
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah. No, we're not doing no 50 Shades of Grey. Now, if they did do a 50 Shades of Mr. J, yeah, we would do it. Especially if they had Margot Robbie in it. Yeah.
That's a fun way to get down under.
And Jared Leto. Yeah. Okay. But other than that, yeah. So in 2 weeks, you never know what we're going to get. It's going to be like a box of chocolates like Forrest Gump. So
I'm not doing Forrest Gump either. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Not doing Gump. Oh, okay. So everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your, well, you've got about 5 minutes left in your summer. So enjoy it.
Peace to you.
Good night.
Later.